know that. So why should it be? So this was the mood of Swayambhuva Manu. And it takes a truly non-partial father or grandfather to come and talk this. If it is the modern world now, no matter what the person do, the father and grandfather will come and support the person. It's my relative. Yes, I have to support him, whether it's right or wrong. So like this, but Swayambhuva Manu was not thinking like this. So he has come to advise Dhruva Maharaj. So let us continue the reading. And let's start from the 7 itself, where we ended yesterday. Hare
Krishna, Chaitanya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I have a question.
Okay.
In the light of the explanation that you have just given, I want to understand why Chitra Prabhu is being chastised and punished when he is acting under the influence of nature.
Actually, that's why I didn't punish him. I cancelled it. It was a joke. After all, today is Dwadasi. We know that people are even breaking their fasts, even while attending the class. Some people have some prashada, some grain prashada beside them, which they will off the video and honor. So we are very liberal today. We are not going to punish anybody. Okay, so thank you very much. Forgive us. But even though you are not
time to break fast now, fasting is not yet time to break fast. The class will finish before breaking of fast, both Nigeria and Ghana.
What is the time?
In Nigeria, it's 10:55.
To break the fast?
Yes, 10:55.
Wow. That means it will be 9:55 here.
Yes, something like that.
That's serious. I didn't know the breaking time anyway.
Yes,
so forgive me.
No problem, sir.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Ghana is 9:55 to 9 a.m. Only very short period.
Huh? Okay,
Yes.
okay. Thank you very much for reminding us. If not for you now, maybe I would have broken it before the time.
Yeah, we can see there is Prasad beside you.
My video is not on now, bro.
But you, as you have desired, I understand you have your Prasad.
Yogi Swaras. Actually, I have small rice I put inside a plate here beside me. You have seen clearly. And thank you for saving me. Actually, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Having said that, it is important to know that even though there are other causes, we have to be also very, very careful in what we do. We should be very, very careful what we do. We should not overreact under any circumstance. Devotees have emotions and they can feel pain also, like any other person. And they have the right to react over anything, any injustice. But they should not overreact. So if they overreact, the word unnecessarily come inside. So let us know the boundaries. Okay. Having said that, let us continue. Forgive me, Salije. Manu Ubacha Lamba Satiro Sena Tamodware na Papmana Yena Punya Jana Vetam Abadistwam Anagasa. Lord Manu said, my dear son, please stop. It is not good to become unnecessarily angry. It is the path to hellish life. Now you are going beyond the limits by killing yakshas who are actually not offenders. Purport. In this verse, the word atirosena means with unnecessary anger. When Dhruva Maharaj went beyond the limits of necessary anger, his grandfather Swayambhuva Manu immediately came to protect him from further sinful action. From this, we can understand that killing is not bad, but when killing is done unnecessarily or when an offenseless person is killed, such killing opens the path to hell. Dhruva Maharaj was saved from such sinful action because he was a great devotee. A Kshatriya is allowed to kill only for maintenance of the law and order of the state. He is not allowed to kill or commit violence without reason. Violence is certainly a path leading to hellish condition of life, but it is also required for maintenance of the law and order of the state. Here, Lord Manu prohibited Dhruva Maharaj from killing the Yakshas because only one of them was punishable for killing his brother Uttam. Not all of the Yaksha citizens were punishable. We find in modern warfare, however, that attacks are made upon innocent citizens who are without fault. According to the law of Manu, such warfare is a most sinful activity. Furthermore, at the present moment, civilized nations are unnecessarily maintaining many slaughterhouses for killing innocent animals. When a nation is attacked by the enemies, the wholesale slaughter of the citizens should be taken as a reaction to their own sinful activities. That is nature's law. So, can we deliberate on this? What are the points, critical points to note in this particular verse and purport? I want to point to the last, second to the last statement. When a nation is attacked by its enemies, the wholesale slaughter of the citizens should be taken as a reaction to their own sinful activities. That is nature's law. How do you understand this? Okay. I will say because the so-called civilized nations are involved in massive slaughter of animals, which is unnecessary. Unnecessary because human beings are not even to go into slaughtering. They are not tigers, they are not lions, they are not cats. And they are not slaughtering one animal in case where there is no food. But this is organized slaughtering, thinking that the animals have no right to live, or they don't know that they have souls also, that they feel pain. So when animals are slaughtered massively, one of the immediate reaction is to be slaughtered in war, massively in war. Who says slaughtered during war, even though they are not soldiers? Because the standard of practice before, maybe some 150, years beyond, was that whenever there is to be war, like the Battle of Kurukshetra, the soldiers congregate in a field, a battlefield, and they fight among themselves like a sport. Then in the end, somebody will lose, somebody will win. But now, then the women and the innocent, the elderly, the children, people who are not Kshatriyas were not slaughtered. But today, everybody is being slaughtered because bombs are thrown here and there indiscriminately. You can be in your room and before you realize, boom, like the Iranian president was inside his office, boom, other people, children, indiscriminately. So this is the meaning. This was the Prabhupada is indirectly pointing out that these are reactions to animal slaughter, organized animal slaughter. When a nation is attacked by its enemies, the wholesale slaughter of the citizens should be taken as a reaction to their own sinful activities. That sinful activity is the animals they slaughter, and the animals they are slaughtering. That is nature's law. There are so many other critical points that I want you to be involved in picking them out, and let's analyze them a bit. Yesterday we talked about them, but let's refresh our memory. Okay. Come on board, otherwise I will ask you a question and mention your name. I will ask you a question and mention your name. So, under what circumstances is killing justifiable? Because killing is something violent and it's not supposed to be justified. But there are certain conditions when killings can be justified. According to the purpose, killing is not generally, not generally discouraged. But there are certain instances when killing can be justified, depending on who is killing, what are the circumstances under which the killing is done. Please let us bring out something. Chitra Prabhu, you are my man also. Start with us. Okay, if Chitra is not there, Jyoti Swarup Prabhu. If Jyoti Swarup Prabhu is not there, Yaduna Prabhu.
I'm here, Prabhu, but then I'm just trying to open my laptop now for the Bhagavatam. So if you share, then I can read. Or when I start my phone and I read from there in subsequent time.
It's not reading now. I'm just asking questions that under what circumstances can killing be justified, because we just read it in the purport.
Okay.
Okay.
But when killing is can be justified. For example, Prabhupada gave some examples and analogies. If justice of the peace, like a judge, can condemn a person's life, can sentence a person to life imprisonment, and he can say, okay, this person should be executed, it's justified. If he's not doing it whimsically, if he's doing it according to the code of law, then a medical doctor may have to do violence on a patient in the form of surgery. But the aim is not to cause pain for this patient. The aim is to cure the patient. This kind of violence is actually not violence, so it's also justified. So violence that brings ultimate good is justified. It's just like we don't like war, but Krishna in war, and war is done with violence. So like this, it's also justified. So these are the few examples I can give right now. So if violence is aimed at the ultimate good of all, then it's justified.
Okay, very good, very good. And if somebody kills, and that person is sentenced to death also after situational analysis, then that is justified. And if a soldier kills in war, it's justified also. But the same soldier is just on his own out of personal anger, because it's a soldier having gone and killed somebody, he will be in trouble also. So the word necessary and unnecessary is very critical in this purport. Okay. So Dhruva was killing beyond necessary. Therefore, his anger was becoming unnecessary. And Manu, Swayambhuva Manu has to come and intervene to save both Dhruva and to also save the rest of the actions. Okay, thank you very much. The next verse, somebody should read now. Verse 8.
Prabhuji, can I read?
Yes, Prabhu.
Nasmat kulochetam tata कर्मैतत् सदा विहृतिं तं वदो यदुपदेवानामा रब्धस्ते कृतेन साम. Translation: My dear son, the killing of enemies, the killing of sinless yakshas which you have undertaken is not at all approved by the authorities, and it does not benefit our family, which is supposed to know the laws of religion and irreligion. No purport. Can I continue?
Yes.
Nanve kasya paradhena प्रसंगाद बहवो हता भ्रातुर्वधामि तप्तेन त्वया भ्रातुवत्सल. Translation: My dear son, it has been proved that you are very much affectionate towards your brother and are greatly aggrieved at his being killed by the yakshas. But just consider, for one yaksha's offense, you have killed many other who are innocent. No purport, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Nayam margo hi sadhunam rashikeshanuvartinam yaddatmanam paragruham gruyam pashuvadet veshasham. Translation: One should not accept the body as a self, and thus, like the animal, kill the bodies of others. This is especially forbidden by saintly person who follows the path of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport: The words sadhunam rishikeshanu vetinam are very significant. Sadhu means a saintly person, but who is saintly person? A saintly person is he who follows the path of rendering service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Rishikesha, in the Narad Pancharatra, it is said, Rishikeshana Rishikesha Sevanam Bhaktir Uchatye. The process of rendering favorable service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead with one's senses is called bhakti or devotional service. Therefore, why should a person who already engage in a service of the Lord engage himself in personal sense gratification? Dhruv Maharaj is advised here by Lord Manu that since he is a pure servitor of the Lord, why should he unnecessarily engage like the animal in the body concept of life? An animal thinks that the body of another animal is his food. Therefore, in the bodily concept of life, one animal attack another. A human being, especially one who is devotee of the Lord, should not act like this. A sadhu, a saintly devotee, is not supposed to kill animal unnecessarily. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, as devotees, we are expected to act exemplary. The whole society is looking up to how we live as devotees. So, the principle of living according to devotional tenets is the most crucial point for a devotee. A devotee should learn to live by example. By extension of this, Gurudev was saying that the Grihastha community is very, very important. Actually, it's most important. Why? Because the Griyasas are actually the ones living with the people. They are living in the midst of the people. And the people are observing their lives. So if the Griyasa community lives according to devotional principles, exemplarily, then that itself is number one preaching. Their respect or disrespect to our community, I mean the general mass of people, would depend on how our Griyasas are living. Therefore, it is very important that our Griyasa communities are well established. Our devotees who are Griyasas are well established. It's their facility to practice devotional service in a way that their life itself is enriched. I mean, they should follow everything more than everyone else. If there are laws in the society, they should be the ones, first ones to obey the laws, because naturally, whatever law that is in the society, in any community, is a subset of the supreme laws we are following in Bhagavatam. So it is just an effortless situation for a Grihastha to be exemplary in his community. So it is very important. Right from the first verse, Jyoti Swarup read, you see that Manu is saying that, my dear son, the killing of the sinless yakshas which you have undertaken is not at all approved by authorities. When you say authorities, he's talking of scriptural authorities, those who are to show example. And it does not benefit our family. Our family, what is so important about our family? This family is the family of devotees, family of great devotees, which is supposed to know the laws of religion and irreligion. You see? So because Yadhyada Charati Sretas, whatever a great man does, common man follow. And devotees are great by dint of being devotees. So they have to live exemplary, they have to live in a way that they are living their life is a preaching to everybody who is not a devotee. See, they don't drink, they don't smoke, they don't gamble, they don't find themselves in places that rascals find themselves. And the community, you think they are not seeing us. They are observing everything we do. And many of them are secretly attracted to devotees. But due to external, circumstances, they are unable to relate openly with us. But every sincere person, the people we call kamis, they are observing our lives very critically. And they are attracted. They want their children to be like the devotees. They want their children to be like devotees, but the traditional activities in the community, they are thinking of how the people will think of us, and they don't have deeper, so they are secretly admiring us. But here, Manu, so Manu is openly, telling us this through Dhruva Maharaj. He's instructing Dhruva Maharaj, and indirectly instructing all of us that as devotees, we are expected to know what is religion and what is irreligion, even to the minute components, so that if somebody offends you, you don't need to overreact. You don't need to overreact. Somebody kills your brother, one of your brothers, and it pains you so much. You are supposed to go and kill the person who killed your brother. But here you have killed thousands of people and you are not still ready to stop. Your anger is not yet pacified. Huh? Whereas Trivida and Narakaseda, there are 3 gates leading to hell. Anger is one of them. And you are going deeper on that road. Even though you are a devotee that has already been sanctioned, that is going to come back to the kingdom of God, who have gotten a special favor from the Lord. What else do you want? So we should not overreact under any circumstance. In our daily lives, we also should learn to put this into practice. Somebody offend you, just address that particular offense. And don't try to trace so many connections to that offense and start extending your anger to everybody that is connected from afar. No. So this is the point. There are many other points also in, in this purport. So if there is some point you want us to take home, kindly bring it out and let's discuss it a little bit. In the purport, a saintly person is defined. That a saintly person is he who follows the path of rendering service unto the Supreme Personality of God. Sabo padi venir muta tak paratrinda risikena ilisikesa sevana bhakti uchat. And we say of all those who are yogis, the bhakti yogis are the best because they are the only yogis who has mastered the art and science of even engaging the senses in the service of the Lord. Other yogis, they demonize the body. They demonize the body. The body is the cause of all problems. They're useless into the body. So they want to negate the body and the senses of the body. And they go to forest, they go in secluded place, they try to withdraw their mind from the body. But the devotees are the only yogis who have mastered the art and science of engaging even the senses in the service of the Lord, replacing lower engagements with higher engagements. So see how glorious it is to be devotees. The only yogis or mystics who can live in the city, but not affected by the city life, because they have mastered the art and science of engaging the senses in the service of the Lord. And this is what is being referred to here. We are living in a community, the soul is also living in the body. So there are bodily needs. How do we satisfy these bodily needs without going overboard? You see, so their senses and their activities are regulated by scriptural injunctions. And they don't just fold their hands and say, I don't want to act because if I act, there'll be reaction. They engage in positive actions that will attract positive reactions. So they are living in the world, but they are not on the world. They are like lotus flower, but they are living on the water, but they are not touched by the water. So the devotee's position is very, very special. That's why of all the yogis, Yogina Mapi Sarvesam, the devotees are the highest. And of all processes of yoga, the devotional yoga process is the highest. All glories to devotional service. So this is defined. Positive, active engagement of the senses in the service of the Lord. Other people demonize the body. We say don't romanticize the body. Don't go into sense gratification. And we are saying that don't also demonize the body, but we should utilize the body. We are utilitarians. As Prabhupada Nugas, we are utilitarians. We have full understanding that nothing belongs to us, everything belongs to Krishna, including our body. So we can engage our body and everything that is in our possession in the service of the Lord. We are utilitarians. Don't romanticize, don't demonize, utilize. This is the platform of devotees. The only yogis who can engage the senses in the service of the Lord actively. Instead of not eating and going to sit in one place to close eyes and fast for hundreds of years, the devotee just stop eating boga and he engages his tongue in knuckling prasadam. Even prasadam according to the environment. If it's in Nigeria, a devotee can prepare very nice soup and vegetable soup and pumpkin leaf soup and offer it to the Lord. And take care of the remnants. And if you are in Ghana, the same way, somebody can arrange a banku or kunte or what is the other one? Keke. And make some other things according to the offer it to the Lord. The Lord come from India to enjoy African food. Now, after the devotees take care of the rest, you see? And these are the ones who dance ketan until when other yogis are folding their legs sitting in one place, closing eyes, trying to not to be part of this world. Devotees engage their legs in dancing, rigorous keta, till the two legs will go off the ground at the same time. Have you ever seen anybody dance like that in the material world without taking some intoxicants? But devotees dance, the two legs are off the ground at the same time, and they are pounding and they are pounding. So we are utilitarians. We don't romanticize the senses. We don't engage them in sense gratification. We don't dance to Bob Marley songs or other songs, but we dance to Ketan, transcendental songs. And we don't eat burger, but we take prasad. We honor prasad. We don't read mundane literature, but we read scriptures. And we engage all our senses. So param driswa nevardante is the formula. And devotees do this. So a singular person is he who follows the path of rendering service unto the Supreme Personality of God, Rishikesh. So in the Narada Pancharashra, it is said, Rishikesha, Rishikena, Rishikesha, Sevanam Bhakti Uchati. The process of rendering favorable service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead with one's senses is called Bhakti or devotional service. Therefore, why should a person who is already engaged in the service of the Lord engage himself in personal sense gratification? So, Dhruva Maharaj is advised here by Lord Manu that he is a pure servitor of the Lord. Why don't necessarily engage like the animals in the bodily concept of life? For sense gratification, animals just punch on other animals and eat. So don't go beyond the bodily platform. You are not the body. You are not the body. This so-called relationship you say you have with Utanapai is the creation of the illusory energy. Utama is not the body. Utama is a soul. But because of illusory bodily relationship, which is going to be destroyed, the body will be destroyed by material nature. You are now killing all these people. What do you mean? How can you behave like this as a devotee? Why are you bringing our family name down, acting on the bodily platform? Therefore, ultimately, we are going to come to that platform and the maker of the potter and the clay itself. So if you are killing all these yakshas, will you go and kill Mother Nature, Durga? Will you go and kill Krishna also? So stop this. Okay. Hare Krishna. So that is it.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Prabhuji.
Wait first, Jim Madhuban, the person who was conspicuously absent yesterday.
Yes, in fact, I'm very, very sorry. And I think I gave I sent a message in that respect. I couldn't get any network. I was in MTN and Airtel combination. It didn't work yesterday, even today. So I'm very sorry. And even for today also, I'm very sorry. In your discussion, you mentioned the importance of Grihastha community. As a devotee, that we should be a living example to others. So I just want to also extend it that the Grihastha also should know that above that, there is also Vanaprastha. He has to graduate at a point in time from being a Grihastha. Therefore, at this age, our forest is our temple. In those days, they say one enter into the forest. But in this modern life, our forest is the temple. So as a Grihastha, we should always have it in mind to make sure that the temple is okay, with the mind that eventually it can end up staying there. So that's just my little contribution, which I think is important.
Yeah, very, very good. Thank you very much. We renounce into the ashram. instead of going to the forest. He said, we're going to look for liberation there. We get liberated in active devotional service. So that point is also going to come. Because what we should not do is easy to identify. But what should we do? Why not doing one thing? We're supposed to be doing something else. So where there is the negative, there is the positive. So what should we do? What should be our action as devotees? This is the main point here. All this from here to verse 25 is all about that. What should we do as a devotee? Because it's easy to know what we should not do, but what should we do positively as devotees? So that there will be a balance. Because why not doing this? We should be doing the other one. Simultaneous detachment from matter and attachment to Krishna devotional service. So these are the points. And yesterday we used one example to explain this. That when we say among the 4 regulative principles, we say we should practice mercy. We should practice mercy. Mercy means, the leg of religion called mercy is being destroyed by what? By animal killing, isn't it?
Yes.
So if you say let us not kill animals and let us not eat that, let not cause violence, then how do we practice compassion? And we say the immediate way to practice compassion is to tell people about Krishna. This is the positive practice of that leg of religion. We have to tell, as long as you are not telling people about their relationship with God, you are actually committing violence, because we have to relate with the innocent. And the relationship we can give to them is by letting them know about their relationship with God. If they know it and they fulfill it, they live accordingly, their life will be successful. So we are supposed to do that. Every opportunity we should look for to educate people about the purpose of life. That is the positive practice of no killing of animals. Positive practice of compassion and mercy. So to the degree we are not practicing, we are not preaching, to that degree we are committing violence. And to the degree we are preaching, to that degree we are actually practicing non-violence. So actual non-violence is to educate people about the goal of life. Support any program like that, become part of such. So this is positive engagement. So it's easy to know what we should not do, but it's sometimes more difficult to know what we should do. And these are the things that Swayambhuva Manu is telling Dhruva Maharaj. And all this session is very loaded with these activities. So let us go on and we'll see more of it. And we critically pick out the points and analyze them. The next verse, please.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, carry on.
Which text, please? Text.
Prabhuji, we are on 12.
Okay, thank you.
We have not 11. We have not read 11.
11. Yes. We are reading 11.
Sarvabhutatsma bhavinam uttavasam harim bhavam radyapa duraradyam vishnustat paramam padam. It is translation. It is very difficult to achieve the spiritual abode of Hari in the Vaikuntha planet. But you are so fortunate that you are already destined to go to that abode by worshiping him as the supreme abode of all living entities. Purport. The material bodies of all living entities cannot exist unless sheltered by the spirit soul and the super soul. The spirit soul is dependent on the super soul, who is present even within the atom. Therefore, since anything material or spiritual, is completely dependent on the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is referred to here as Bhakti. Dhruva Maharaj, as a Kshatriya, could have argued with his grandfather, Manu, when Manu requested him to stop fighting. But even though Dhruva could have argued that as a Kshatriya, it was his duty to fight with the enemy, he was informed that since every living entity is a residence of the Supreme Lord and can be considered a temple of the Lord, the unnecessary killing of any living entity is not permitted. Hare Krishna.
So, can you explain this purport a little bit?
Is it me?
Yes.
Okay, Hare Krishna. General, like towards the ending of the purport, Sir Prabhupada was speaking about the body being the temple of the Lord because the super soul is living within the body. This is a general statement we hear even in the Christian fold, that our body is temple of God. So the general knowledge here is that with the understanding that Krishna is all pervasive, is present everywhere to the point that he's present in the heart of every living entity, then we must be very, very careful how we relate with different living entities. There are 4 kinds of offenses. There are offenses to the deities, there are offenses to Vaishnavas, and there are offenses to other living entities also. So because Krishna is present everywhere, we have to be very conscious with our relationship. Even the animals, that's why in Bhagavad Gita also was mentioning that a devotee does not distinguish between dog eater, lower animals, and all the rest. Why? Because it's not seeing the body, it's seeing beyond the body. Beyond the body is the soul, and higher than the soul is super soul. So Krishna is present in every atom. Prabhupada also use the word atom here. Krishna is present in every atom. Krishna is present in every living entity, even in non-living entity, Krishna is present. So this will help us to be careful how we relate with every entity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Therefore, the word unnecessary.
Yes. So only when it is necessary, before we can take certain action, just like you were talking before about violence. If it is necessary for providing solution, or it is necessary for providing peace, then it can be done. Otherwise, one must be very, very careful about it. It is mentioned that even our administration within ISKCON, except it is highly necessary, we will chastise the devotee. Otherwise, you will commit offense. But if it's very necessary and you chastise the devotee, the offense that's supposed to come with it, Krishna will take care of it because you chastise for a higher purpose. But if we do it for fun, just because I'm a temple president or I have a position, then I can chastise whoever I see, then you can incur some karma. So careful. It is necessary, unavoidably important, then certain actions can be taken. Hare Krishna.
Anybody has other point to add to this on this verse? Okay. Vidya Vinaya Sampane, Samane Gabi Asini, Suni Chaiva Swapakicha, Pandita Samadas.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I want you to please kindly help to further explain the unnecessariness of Dhruva Maharaj in killing here, because as a Kshatriya, his duty is to protect his citizen. One, his brother is one of his subjects. Secondly, we have read also in the course of this discussion that it is a help by the king, the leader or head of government, to kill whoever kills, just to help the person to be relieved of his sin. So what is unnecessary? Because the word unnecessariness has been used severally in the course of the last few verses. Please, could you expatiate?
Okay. Yeah, unnecessary. I will just say it is one person that killed Utama. It is one person that killed Utama. Utama is one person. But here, he has killed thousands of Yakshas as a reaction. If he had killed only one Yaksha, even better still, if he was able to locate that particular Yaksha that killed Utama and killed that particular Yaksha, that would have been taken as necessary. But as far as he has gone beyond killing thousands and thousands of Yakshas, it becomes unnecessary, it becomes overreaction. For the sake of one person, you have killed thousands, still you are continuing killing. Whereas all lives are equally sacred. Though the only consolation I get from there is that it is said that when a devotee kills and when the Lord kills, the person attains a higher destination. So even all the people killed by Dhruva Maharaj, they attain some special planets. So they attain Satyaloka, a planet where only 90 brahmacharis who have not dropped semen at all attained. See, that is the only consolation. Otherwise, it is unnecessary, even by ordinary judgment. For the sake of one person, you kill 100, not 5, not 10, not 20, not 100, unlimitedly. You want to destroy the whole world just because of one, because of your brother was killed. So that's why Manu took him beyond to point to him that actually it is illusory. This bodily relation you are considering is actually illusory. How long will your bodily relationship with anybody last? Death is going to take care of it anyway. Even if Yaksha did not change his body, death will take time. Krishna himself, in form of time, will take care of. Will change the body. So can you stop the body from being changed under any circumstance? And is the soul actually killed? Because in the Bible, Krishna mentioned it, he made it clear. You know, the soul cannot be saved, the soul cannot be killed, and the body cannot be saved. Under any circumstance, the soul cannot be killed and the body cannot be saved. So do your duty as a matter of shadshare on that. So on the ordinary note, that's what I would say. But every devotee can add, you can all add something to it.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not satisfied, why? Because
okay. Hare Krishna. Okay.
If the justification was just because of killing many people, then we see also because of the sin of Duryodhana, thousands of millions of people were killed. His 100 brothers were killed. So I think there is something hidden in that unnecessariness that is being used. There is one hidden point there. I'm thinking, but I've not heard about that, and I'm questioning my mind, because we have several stories in the scriptures where the killings, even of a whole race, was justified just because of the sin of one individual person. So if it is just because of only one person and it was killing many people, I think the word unnecessariness would not have been used. So I think there's still something hidden in there. And even though we are mentioning it, but the point is not emphasized. And so I'm waiting to hear whether my mind is deceiving me.
Babaji, your mind is not deceiving you. There is still something hidden. And one of the hidden points here again is the bigger point we're trying to point out, that ultimately we reach there, that when something happens, there is immediate cause and there is a remote cause. That for Dhruva Maharaj not associating with this whole thing in totality to the Supreme Lord being the actual primary cause of this thing happening is also unnecessary. And that explanation brought us to the point of the potter and the in the course of making a pot, 3 causes are involved. The clay is there. If somebody looks at it, you can say the clay is the cause of the pot being made, the final product. And if you look at it, the potter's wheel, the machine, is also there. Then the person who operates the machine is there. Okay? In this case of killing of Uttama, the yaksha is only the clay. And the clay is a tool in the hand of the machine. And in this case, the machine is material nature. Material nature is the machine. And Uttama is the clay. But the person who operates both the machine and the clay, put them together, who initiate who kickstart the machine, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So for a devotee like Dhruva, not being able to relate all these 3 causes together and acting appropriately, it brings out the word unnecessary. Because that's why he asked, you are now killing so many yakshas. Okay, yakshas are the clay now. What about the machine? What about material nature? Are you going to kill material nature also? Eh? Kill material nature. If you can kill if you can kill the clay, kill material nature, and also go beyond to kill the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who actually is the person who put everything together, the machine is operating the machine. So these 3 causes must be considered when acting. So if your action is regulated by this consideration of the 3 causes, then it will not be considered unnecessary anymore. But you are emphasizing on dealing with the instrument. What if the instrument is just an instrument in the hand of somebody? So kill that person also, kill Durga. Then go ahead and kill Krishna. Then we know that you are actually a killer. And you are a Kshatriya. So these are the subtle points that are there. And ultimately, this specific example will be given. This specific analogy will be given in the future as we are going on within this particular chapter. So that's why his action is considered, it's overflogging the instrument. The instrument did not act independently. Why don't you just go beyond the instrument and deal with material nature? Go and fight Durga. When she use all her eight hands to hold you in different, use one hand to hold your bow, use one hand to hold your right hand, use another hand to hold your left hand, and use another hand to completely just be slapping you. What will you do? That means you are a coward. You are afraid of facing the real person. Therefore, you are beating the one that you can beat. You beat him to death, pound him to ashes, to powder, and throwing the powder into the sea. But Mother Durga is still watching you, and Krishna is still watching. Why are you not seeing everything in totality, Baba? Have you forgotten everything is happening here is just a smaller picture of a bigger picture? Why are you not considering the bigger picture? You are a coward. Fear.
Hare Krishna.
Go and face Durga. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. It is a very interesting discussion. Bob Marley used to say that half of the story has never been told. So just like you are saying, if something happens, we don't know why it happened like that. And like your analogy that the three people, the three active participants has to be duly considered. For a great personality like Dhruva Maharaj, a self-realized person, to act as if he's in the mode of anger. Because by the time he approached these Yakshas, the normal procedure is to have, first of all, reported the matter to them. And then from there, they investigate who is the actual killer and so on and so forth. But for him to act otherwise, then there could be some other reasons. Just like Prabhu Salika was saying, something happened and so many people have to die. So there must be some specific cause, specific reasons. And whatever will happen also, Krishna must approve it. Otherwise, nothing can be made possible without the approval of the Supreme Lord. So there could be some external reasons why Dhruva Maharaj had to act like this, because he's a great devotee. That's just an angle I want to also to focus. Hare Krishna.
The higher reasons, okay. Yeah, thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, His Grace Salika Prabhu said that there must be some reason somewhere. That could be correct. That may be correct. But this example himself gave that, like in Kurukshetra, they have to kill so many people and things like that. So I want to read out something from Chanakya's Niti. No need for this. He said, Tiajede kam kulashyarta gramashyate kulam tiajet grama jana padashyate atmate pritivim tiajet. Sacrifice one person for the sake of a family. Sacrifice a family for the sake of a village or a community. Sacrifice a village for the sake of a country. But for the sake of self-spiritual enlightenment, sacrifice the whole world. So in battlefield of Kurukshetra, so many people had to die. But the real dharma, what the Pandavas were doing was to protect the entire nation. So that was not unnecessary. It's not that because it was Duryodhana who committed the offense or who did what he did, the only Duryodhana should die. Or even Krishna mentioned that everybody that died in Kurukshetra, none of them was innocent. They were all guilty. They were meant to be sacrificed. So the well-trained Kshatriyas, they sacrifice for the sake of protecting the borders, which is bigger than a village, which is bigger than a state, and sometimes even bigger than a nation. Like what we are made to understand in Vedic history is that in Vedic days, the whole world was one and India was the capital. So if they were fighting at that time, to protect borders, that means it was meant for the aim of protecting the entire world, just like Kurukshetra. So I'm just talking from the point Salika Prabhu raised about so much killings that happen in Kurukshetra. So, and I just have to use this verse also to substantiate. For higher purpose, we can sacrifice something smaller. But in the case of Dhruva Maharaj, like you said, when we get there, so when we get there, we will see. Yeah, like Prabhu said, it would have just killed maybe one Yaksha and that would be settled. But I think for me, I'm also thinking now that with what we know about these Yakshas and Rakshashas, they are very dangerous. So if you reduce so if Dhruva Maharaj had succeeded in sacrificing or killing all of them, that would have helped us a great deal. Maybe in his mind, he was thinking like this to help devotees who are coming later.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, I also as a Kshatriya, the spirit is there. When the spirit possesses you, you just go crazy and do all what you can do. Okay, yes, Salika Prabhu is to reveal that thinking you have that you are still hiding. Reveal that thinking to us, and it will make it complete. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank everyone for their contribution to this topic. When I was listening to this Lila and then the purports, I was thinking there are two hidden lessons that needs for application. One is that Dhruva Maharaj did not act in line with the desire of the Lord. And I'm going to explain it. That is number one lessons. He did not act in line with the desire of the Lord. Second reason was that he was acting on the bodily platform of my wife, my family, my children. These are two strong reasons why his activities is considered to be unnecessary. On the first point, because it was already pre-arranged by the will of the Lord that Uttama, the brother of Dhruva, was going to be killed. And Dhruva was actually informed by the Lord himself that this is going to happen based on one who is actually in devotional service, having been guided by the spiritual master and the Lord. Dhruva ought to have acted in the knowledge of that Krishna or God consciousness and not act whimsically on the bodily platform. So if he fails to act in line with the desire of the Lord, because the desire of the Lord was that this person must be killed, and as a reaction, and not just that the desire of the Lord also revealed to him that this is my desire for this person. So he fails to walk in line with the desire of the Lord. So the first lesson for me in that discussion was that it's unnecessary, because Baba used the word unnecessary severally. So unnecessary because whatever is not done in line with the desire of the Lord becomes an unnecessary activity. And the second point, which I mentioned, was that Uttanapad and Dhruva was not acting on killing all of those because he was a king, which is a duty bound. Like Yudhira Maharaj was fighting for duty. And there are a few other stories which can be related to, but Dhruva was acting based on his bodily relation, anger of his bodily extension being killed. So his activities become unnecessary. Sometimes many people can be killed. So the killing of many people is not actually a problem, because even we see the story of the 8 Vasus, they all suffer just because of the sin of one person. And many other stories like that in the Bhagavatam shows us that sometimes killing many people may not be wrong, but two important key factors should be is that activities in line with the desire of the Lord, and is it based on our mental, bodily consciousness or Krishna consciousness? Those are the two actually lessons I was trying to hear being highlighted strongly.
Okay. Yeah, that is very true. That is very true. That is very true, because he was pre-informed that both Uttama and the mother would be killed. Yes, because of their offenses towards him. So the Lord actually told him before, but he got overwhelmed by anger due to bodily relations. That is true. And that's why, by extension, any activity that we do, it might look very religious, but if it is not going to please the Lord, if it is not for the pleasure of the Lord, it will still attract reaction. So acting for the pleasure of the Lord is the principal point for every devotee and for every living entity. Acting for the pleasure of the Lord. Act for the pleasure of the Lord. Arjuna, act for my pleasure. That is the ultimate point. Anything we are doing, if it is not connected to the satisfying or giving pleasure to the Lord, we should consider twice before we do it. We should not do it if the Lord is not going to be pleased with it. That is it. That's why our daily activities also, anything we want to do, we have to insert it into that test tube. Will the Lord be pleased with it? If yes, then we'll go ahead to do it. That is the most critical point in the whole of this chapter. The whole of this chapter. That is the conclusion of the whole chapter. Will my action give pleasure to the Lord? That should be the parameter to measure activity. If yes, you do it. If no, don't do it. You see? So it's the most critical point actually. But in the whole chapter, this whole chapter is to emphasize that particular point. Our activities should be for the pleasure of the Lord. Whatever we please Lord, that is what we should do. If that is not considered, any action we perform, we attract some reaction. So we should be very, very attentive to this. Hare Krishna. So that is it. Thank you very much for bringing it up. We are sharpening the focus. Sharpening the focus. Can we go to the next verse? This will be your mind throughout the rest of the chapter, because this is the ultimate point. Everything is refining our consciousness up to that point. That whatever action we want to do, we should consider, we should insert it into that test tube. Will it please the Lord? If yes, go ahead and do it. If not, forget about it. Hare Krishna. The next verse, please.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Tatvam Hare Anudyatas Tat Musamapi Samata Katam tu Avadyam Kritavan Anususkam Satam Pratam. Translation. Because you are a pure devotee of the Lord is always thinking of you. And you are also recognized by all these confidential devotees. Your life is meant for exemplary behavior. I'm therefore surprised. Why have you undertaken such an abominable task? Purport. Dhruva Maharaj was a pure devotee and was accustomed to always thinking of the Lord. Reciprocally, the Lord always thinks of those pure devotees who think of Him only 24 hours a day. As a pure devotee does not know anything beyond the Lord, so the Lord does not know anything beyond his pure devotee. Swami Brahmanu pointed out these facts to Dhruva Maharaj. You are not only a pure devotee, but you are recognized by all pure devotees of the Lord. You should always act in such an exemplary way that others may learn from you. Under the circumstances, it is surprising that you have killed so many faultless yakshas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, can you bring out the essential point there?
Yes.
Madhuvan, bring out the essential points.
Okay.
What do you want us to take home?
Essential point is that as a devotee, we should live an exemplary life. And whatever we do, we think of Krishna. Whatever action that will be favorable, we do the one that is unfavorable to the service of the Lord. We have to avoid it. And we should always 24 hours, see ourselves as the servant of Krishna. So like this, we'll always be guided.
Can somebody remember any sloka in the Bhagavatam? Lord always think of his pure devotee. The pure devotee always think of the Lord. Any quotation to solidify this point?
In Gita, when Krishna was saying that we should always think of him, we should become his devotee. So we should always think of him.
That's man mana baba man too.
Yeah. Mama, yeah.
This one, I want the quotation which is a reciprocal, as it is saying that as a pure devotee does not know anything beyond the Lord, so the Lord does not know anything beyond his pure devotee. I want a quotation to solidify this point. Pure devotee does not know anything beyond the Lord, and the Lord does not know anything beyond the pure devotee. So, the body of the Lord is actually the residential quarter of the pure devotee. So if somebody attacks the body of a pure devotee, he has attacked the Lord. I think it was around where Durvasamuni antagonized Ambarish Maharaj. Around there should be some powerful quotations about this. Because Ambarish body was attacked, the Lord did not take it at all. Durvasamuni saw hell. So there are some quotations within that axis. Aham bhakta paradina. He aswatantra ivadvija. Those are the first two lines of the slogan. Aham bhakta paradina. And somebody remember the full slogan, please. That reminds me, none of you have delivered your slogans. Bhakti Vaibhav slogans in module 1, slogans in module 2. You are actually going to delay things for yourself. The more you give, you defer these slogans, the more you're going to compound things for yourself. So the sooner you start delivering these slogans, the better for you. Let me tell you, in my Bhaktivedanta course, which I was even arguing, they're saying that my attendance in some of the units and some of the modules were below the expected mark. They expected 75% attendance, and they said that my attendance was below, and I was arguing, but they emphasized that it's below. So right now, I'm attending classes to cover up the attendance. How many classes should I attend? This is, you attend classes for the whole unit. I say, how? Because I attended a lot of classes. So if I'm below, it should not be more than 2 or 3 classes. They say, no, I should attend class. So these things it's important that we take all the components seriously. Look at the not be compromised. There is no compromise. I delivered So you are unmuted. So as you're talking, we are hearing everything. Do you want us to hear? Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Sorry for. Actually, I on my audio to get some note, so I forgot that it was on.
Okay.
Prabhuji, there is in Srimad Bhagavatam in 9th canto. I have seen one some one quote according related to this our point.
Yeah.
It's 9.4.68.
Okay.
That's where Lord says that devotees always in Krishna's heart, and Krishna is always in devotee's heart.
Okay.
So it's saying sadhuo hridayam mahyam satinam bhaktistvaham madanyat tena jnanati naham tabhyo manag api. So that was the quote, Prabhuji, related to this. That
Yeah, that's the quote. That's the quote. Then that's the quote. It's within this area. The other quote is there also. Aham Bhakta Paradina. So this is the quote. Sadavo Hridaya Manyam. Sadunam Hridayam. That the pure devotee is always within the core of my heart, and I'm always in the heart of the pure devotee. My devotees do not know anything else but me, and I do not know anyone else but them. So, if you find a pure devotee, you are in trouble. And that's why when Ambarish attacked the body of, when Drubasa attacked the body of Ambarish, he did not get it easy. He did not get it easy. Because that's where they are attacking their body in the central quarter of the Lord. And Sudarshan has to come for him. So, like this. Very, very important. Very, very important. Very, very important. Yes, he said like as a pure devotee does not know anything beyond the Lord. So the Lord does not know anything beyond his pure devotees. So Mbuba Manu pointed out this fact to Dhruva Maharaj. Not only are you a pure devotee, but you are recognized by all pure devotees of the Lord. So you should always act in such an exemplary way that others may learn from you under the circumstance. It is surprising that you have killed so many faultless reactions. Okay. Any other points on this? Otherwise, we go to the next. The next verse is going to remind us of some slokas again. Titikshaya karunaya maitriya chakila jantusu samatwena chasarvatma bhagavan samprasidasi. The Lord is very satisfied with his devotee when the devotee greets other people with tolerance, mercy, friendship, and equality. Purpose. It is the duty of an advanced devotee in the second stage of devotional service to act in accordance with this verse. There are 3 stages of devotional life. Who can remember them graphically? Kanista, Madhyama, and Uttama. Three stages. In the lower stage, a devotee is simply concerned with the deity in the temple, and he worships the Lord with great devotion according to rules and regulations. That is the Kanista Adhikari. In the second stage, the devotee is cognizant of his relationship with the Lord, his relationship with fellow devotees, his relationship with persons who are innocent, and his relationship with persons who are envious. So this is the Madhyama stage. So what is the point in this? Yeah. Sometimes devotees are ill-treated by envious persons. It is advised that an advanced devotee should be tolerant. He should show complete mercy to persons who are ignorant or innocent. A preacher devotee is meant to show mercy to innocent persons whom he can elevate to devotional service. Everyone by constitutional position is an eternal servant of God. Therefore, a devotee's business is to awaken everyone's Krishna consciousness. That is his mercy. So when the devotees will practice compassion and mercy, this is the positive practice of compassion and mercy, to give Krishna to others. As for a devotee's treatment of other devotees who are his equals, is to maintain friendship with them. To maintain friendship with them. His general view should be to see every living entity as part and parcel of the Lord. Different living entities appear in different forms or dress. But according to the instructions of the Bhagavad Gita, a learned person sees all living entities equally. Vidya Vinaya Sampane Brahmani Gavi Asini. Suni Chaiva Swapakisha Pandita Samandasina. Such treatment by the devotee is very much appreciated by the Supreme Lord. He said, therefore, that the saintly person is always tolerant and merciful. He is a friend to everyone, never an enemy to anyone, and is peaceful. These are some of the good qualities of a devotee. So Swayambhuva Manu was wondering if Dhruva Maharaj was putting this into practice. He had a relationship with the Lord, that was all right. Therefore, he adored the Lord. But as an advanced devotee, if it is a neophyte devotee, Kanista, no problem, because that's his nature. He only sees the Lord and recognize the Lord and relate with him. That's why he doesn't care for any other devotee. He doesn't care for Pujari. He doesn't care for all other devotees. But advanced devotee, as Dhruva Maharaj is expected to be friendly to all those who are also devotees, and should be compassionate to the innocent, and to avoid the envious. So Swayambhuva Manu is wondering if Dhruva Maharaj has acted with such discrimination in this kind of case, whereby he has killed everybody just because of his brother. His brother is one person, but he has killed thousands. Has he acted with discrimination of the Madhyama Adhikari? This is the point that Swayambhuva Manu is trying to drag Dhruva's attention to. That it should be exemplary in its conduct as a pure devotee. So by Manu's calculation, he has not actually acted with enough discrimination. He has not acted as exemplarily as expected. But the fact that is a highly qualified pure devotee. So what is your take on this? Hare Krishna. Do we still consider Dhruva Maharaj's action as okay? Seeing him from the perspective of anybody, at least not a canister Adhikari, but at least Madhyama or Madhyama. Anyway, most of the time, the Lord himself wants to point out to teach others certain lessons. So the Lord himself can put his devotees under some kind of influence so that you can use the person to teach others too. But on our level, we can just try to understand as much as possible how we should be exemplary in our conduct. That is the angle we should look at it from. We are expected to be exemplary in our behavior. Are we really exemplary? Are our behaviors reflecting Kanisa mentality, Madhyama mentality, or Uttama? We are expected to be operating at least on the Madhyama level. That is the basic expectation of us. Are we there? If we are not there, why? Why are we not there? And how can we be there? This is the point. Titik Shaba Karunika. Titik Shaba. We should act with tolerance. We should be Karunika. We should be mercy. Ajatra Satrava Santi. That means we should be friendly to all living entities. Are we there? If we are not there, why are we not there? Is it a psychological problem? We are having psychological problems. Is that why we are not there? Then how can we do that operation? Are we there? Are we acting with titiksha, tolerance, karuna, mercy, ajata sastrava? Are we acting with friendship? And are we acting with such discrimination that we avoid the envious? So this is a call for personal application. So learn something from this. Are there some points you want us to look at before we move to the next verse? Tisaba Karonika, Surida Sabadena. And this verse is almost the same thing. Titikshaya Karunaya. Maitreya means friendship, friendliness, friendship, yes. So are we acting by tolerance? Are we acting by mercy? Are we acting by friendship? No. Are we really friendly to all living entities? And are we acting with Bhagavad Samprasidati in mind? Are we acting with Bhagavad Samprasidati in mind? Satisfaction of the Lord. Do we have that in mind in our actions, in our interpersonal actions? How we relate with other entities? Are we having Bhagavad Samprasidati in mind? This is the ultimate point in this particular chapter. Are we acting for the satisfaction of the Lord, or we are acting for the satisfaction of our senses? If care is not taken, when Swambhuva Manu is talking, it's as if Dhruva Maharaj is now acting with his own personal sense to just gratify his senses, acting for personal aggrandizement. It's expected to act as with mercy, with tolerance, with friendliness. Is this a friendly behavior towards all the other yakshas? All the other yakshas were these offenders. Why has he extended his quarrel to everybody? Why? This is the point that baffling Swayambhuva. Swayambhuva Manu says, if you do this, The consequence is that you are implicating yourself. You're going to implicate yourself very deep, and you are going to entangle yourself in sinful reaction. But when you kill one person, you have a lot of sinful reaction. Now you have killed so many persons who did not provoke you. So you can imagine the reaction you are going to get. I don't want you to be, you are a devotee already. I have to protect you. So to protect other devotees from going extreme also is to tell them the truth at the right time. If somebody is doing something and nobody is talking to the person out of fear or out of some political consideration, you have to, if you truly love the person, tell the person the truth. You want to protect the body for implicating, that is the motivation for you telling him the truth. But we have to learn how to talk the truth when necessary. At the most critical time, we have to learn how to talk the truth. And if you protect the truth in this way, the truth will also protect you. So Swayambhuva Manu is wondering, as Dhruva Maharaj acted with these considerations as a devotee, is his actions reflecting that of an advanced devotee? Huh? Are you acting with mercy? Are you acting with compassion? Are you acting with friendliness? Yeah? Because these are the qualities of a devotee. Or you are acting with stark enmity. For what? One person kill you, you are destroying the entire village, the entire tribe. You know the implication? You're going to take birth many times to suffer reactions. I don't want it to happen to you. You are my grandson and you are a devotee. Stop this killing, unnecessary killing. That's why I call it again, unnecessary killing. So anyway, out of love, according to Lord Shiva, corrections are made for two reasons. One, fatherly correction, and the other one is correcting an enemy. So the operations are different. So Lord Shiva said, you cut off Daksha's heads. The cut off Daksha's heads out of a fatherly concern, fatherly correction kind of stuff. When the head was replaced with that of a goat, he began to attain self-realization, started praying nicely. So the purpose is achieved. So Titishaya, Karunaya, Maitreya Chakila Jantusu, Samaveta Chasa, Padma, Bhagavan Samprasidati. Bhagavan Samprasidati. That should be the yardstick. Any action we want to do, we have to measure. Will this please the Lord? Will this please the Lord? If that is not there, don't do it. If that is there, go ahead and do it, even if it displeases some other people. So this is the point here. And this point will permeate all other tests. Okay, so that is it. We should read this particular verse again and again. Yes, it is advised that an advanced devotee should be tolerant. He should show complete mercy. Tolerant means should not overreact. He should show complete mercy to persons who are ignorant. That means he should preach, should give Krishna to people who are innocent. That is the meaning. A preacher devotee is meant to show mercy to innocent persons. How? It is to preach to them about Krishna. Trying to elevate them to Krishna consciousness. That is how it shows his mercy. Therefore, a devotee's business is to awaken everyone's Krishna consciousness. That is his mercy. As for the devotee's treatment of other devotees who are his equals, is to maintain friendship with them. His general view should be to see every living entity as part and parcel of Lord. Vidya Vinaya Sampani, Ramani Kavi Asini, Sunicha Eva Swapakrisha, Pandita Samada Asini. Different living entities appear in different dress, but they are all living entities. But according to the instruction of Bhakti, a learned person sees all living entities equally. Such treatment by the devotee is very much appreciated by the Supreme Lord. So Bhagavan Samprasidati is there to act in a way that the Lord will appreciate our qualities. He said, therefore, that a saintly person is always tolerant and merciful. He is a friend to everyone, never an enemy to anyone, and is peaceful. These are some of the good qualities of anybody. Hare Krishna. Yeah, Jyoti Swarup Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have a question. I was a little bit confused, so if you can guide me. Hello, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, we are hearing you.
Okay, okay. Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in this text particularly, Prabhupada mentioned about three categories, three classes of devotees: Kanistha, Madhyam, and Uttama. So, Prabhuji, sometimes it happens in the our life also. Let's say we all maybe there is possibility we start from Kanistha. We start our spiritual journey from Kanistha, and we have to always upgrade it to Madhyama, and we have to come to Uttama Adhikari. So we devotee we have to do that to be able to reach to Krishna in our spiritual life. But Prabhuji, practically, yesterday actually I heard something which was, I mean, little bit disturbing in my mind. I got one message like, there is one Mataji, Indian body. She was here in Africa and she gone back to India permanently. And she was in Mayapur. She is a devotee. And she even experienced that even in Mayapur there is so much, uh, I mean, enviness within the devotees, and there is so much politics and so much like that. So when I heard that, I mean, here we are in Africa, we don't feel all those things very heavily because we are few, like we are only 10, 20, or 100, and we are fighting among the 100. But when we are in India, we are fighting with 1,000 or a million. So when we hear that, then we think, so why is happening like that? Our mind is like that. So sometime it comes in the mind, okay, not to offend any devotees. Let's concentrate in our sadhana. Let's concentrate in our bhakti. Krishna is there. Let's please Krishna. Let's do our chanting properly. So let's behave it like that. So is it we are behaving like Kanistha? Because I see Kanistha, they focus only on the deities in the temple, ignore all or ignore or indifferentiate any other people. That is the Kanistha thinking. So if we are with devotee and if we are thinking this way, Prabhuji, how we should change our mind so that from Madhyama we don't come to Kanistha? Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so what is the question now?
Yes, the question is the short question. I will cut it down. Is you see, we have to upgrade ourselves from Kanistha to Madhyama. Okay, but even when let's say we are in Madhyam Adhikari and we are thinking, we are fighting among the devotees, and then instead of upgrading, we are even thinking, oh, let's continue with our sadhana only and forget others. So that's why we are even coming towards Kanistha. So in this case, how we should behave so that we don't come from Madhyama even to Kanistha.
Hmm. Thank you very much for this question, and it's practical. We have about 10 minutes to deliberate on this because of the timing. So please, can devotees respond? Every devotee, this question is for every devotee here.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Krishna.
It's a very good question because it's a very strong reality. You attend a temple and they are discriminating against you. And not even some people. Many people.
Prabhuji, here in Africa, we face 5, 10, or 100.
Exactly.
In
But right there,
India more than 1,000.
so it's very heavy. The situation is tight. So if one is not very careful, you end up saying, okay, I'm here to worship Krishna. Once I come to the temple, I do my worship, I make my donation, then I'll quietly go home, because to even relate with people is a problem. Eh, You are told that you should learn how to be friendly with devotee, be peaceful and so on, but you did not discover that the society is very hostile. So I think it is a very critical question, and it will need an advanced devotee like Prabhu who can give
Yes.
us a solution.
Prabhuji, Shalika Prabhu, if I can hear something from Shalika Prabhu, in the end, Chaitanya Prem Prabhu is the best teacher. But if Shalika Prabhu can comment something.
Oh yeah, let us go ahead. Everybody should say something sharp before you get to Salika. Some people will say something. Chitraketi Prabhu, are you there? Chitraketi Prabhu is not there. Yaduna Prabhu, are you there? Yaduna Prabhu is not there. Tamakrishna Prabhu, are you there? Tamakrishna Prabhu is not there. Hey. So what do we do? Let me just drop one slogan first before we open up the discussion. Because this devotional life is individual. Devotional life is individual. And individually, you are doing devotional service and you want to advance to the next level. So tests will come to you. And if Krishna is to give you tests, he will not go and bring a demon or a kami to test you. The test will be generated through other devotees. Like this kind of situations. These are tests. Living among devotees. The test is always going to come through the devotees. And that is even why it is said that for a devotee, for a male devotee, his ego is purified by his ability to live with other devotees. And generally, what Krishna said in the Bhagavatam is that Tate Anukampam Sloka, because we are focusing on self-development. Tate Anukampam Susami Samano Pujana Evatmakritam Vipakam Idbhagvapubi Vidada Namaste Jivetayum Ibadesadaya Bhakti Srimad Bhagavatam 10:14-8. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and deeds, is surely eligible for liberation, for he has become its rightful owner. So we say devotional life itself is 90% of 90% of what happens, but only 10% of how you react. Okay, no, not like that. Devotional life itself is just 10% of what happens, but 90% of how you react. That means you have been practicing devotional service, but tests will come for you to reveal your innermost qualities you have imbibed. So if you have already attained Madhyama and tests come to you on Madhyama platform, you pass the test by how you respond to whatever test. The test is not the problem, but how you react. that will establish your level of maturity. So no matter what happens, we are expected to remain mature and be exemplary, and let our exemplary life become a lesson for others. So that should be the posture of a devotee. So in this way, let us use that. You see every test as an opportunity to bring out that we should not become discouraged and begin to come down from Madhyama to Kanista. Instead, we should remain in Madhyama and see how we can even evolve to Uttama. So, having said this, G. Salik Prabhu, we need your contribution before we conclude this. What is your contribution about this? Devotee's attitude is pushing someone who has even reached Madhyama to even go back to Kanista. In order not to offend people, just come and go straight to the deity, relate and go back and avoid associating at all. So, what is your reaction? What do we
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, thank you very much.
Because the people are very many. You experience such things for many people, but here, only maybe hundreds out of hundreds, we get some people like that. So the ratio is even higher in the more civilized devotional environments. So how do we conduct ourselves and remain Madhyama, not come down to Kanisa? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much, Jyoti Swarup Prabhu, for this question. And thank you very much, everyone who has contributed, especially our teacher, Shitan Prima Prabhu. You've actually said on the head the answer to this question, but I'll just give some little explanation because I'm requested. To be able to understand how not to drop from the mood of a Madhyama to a Kanista when we see circumstances like in Mayapur or in a large community of devotees, is to first and foremost look, what is the quality of a Madhyama? A Madhyama's qualification is because he has absolute faith in Krishna and he has a command of the scripture. That is what makes him a Madhyama. If he doesn't have these two together, he cannot be considered a Madhyama. So because he has absolute faith in Krishna that nothing happens by chance, everything happens by Krishna's arrangement, and Krishna is merciful to everyone, he sees everyone in that mood based on his status on the platform of Madhyama. And because he's in full grip of the scriptural text, he's able to see how to relate with everyone. In other words, he doesn't see the differences, whether in a small community or in a big community. He sees all of the living entities based on this Sastra Shakshush, or from the scriptural eye, because he sees every living entity, irrespective of wherever they are, whether because the moment he starts seeing Mayapur and Nigeria Yatra or India Yatra or Europe Yatra differently, he has already descended himself from a Madhyama. He's not acting on the platform of a Madhyama. A Madhyama sees, and that is why our acharyas will tell us, as like Gurudev also said, one of the reasons he left his body in the US, explanation was that every devotee have considered that to go to Mayapur or go to Vrindavan to go and leave their body is the ultimate goal. Even though that is the injunction of the scripture, but Srila Prabhupada has also said that every of his temples are Vrindavan. So if a devotee has absolute faith in Krishna and his words of the spiritual master, so he would not be misguided, he would not be confused when in any circumstances. So for a devotee going from Africa or anywhere in a larger community, when he sees discrepancies even within the devotee community, he sees each and every one based on where they are. And Srila Rupa Goswami concluded by explaining that a Madhyama Bhakta, when he goes to anywhere, he sees each and every living entity where they belong and he relates accordingly. So in other words, it's not externally, his consideration and behavior is not based on external consideration. It's based on internal realization, based on his faith and the understanding of the scriptures. That's how a Madhyama acts. So his guiding principle is that he has absolute faith in Krishna, and he has absolute grip of the scripture. So he sees all of the circumstances as Krishna's arrangement for a particular purpose. So if everyone, like Chaitanya Prabhu said, even in the devotional environment, are meant to give us, sometimes we see devotees, the greatest challenge they will have is their even wife. We're talking of external people, like I said, other devotees. It will be your wife, sometimes it will even be your child or your daughter that will become the big challenge. So Krishna arranges in every devotional environment circumstances that is necessary for that devotee to be able to rise to the next level. So that is the quality of a Madhyama which guides him or her wherever he finds him. Hare Krishna. There are other references to back what I've explained so far. In the 11th canto, chapter 11, 23, verse 2, Prabhupada gave a very beautiful purport to something related to how a Madhyama Bhakta relates to circumstances around him. So we can find references also in the Srimad Bhagavatam 1:18-44 purport. Srila Prabhupada also gives some highlight how a person who is advanced in devotional service relates with the situation around his environment. The two verses represent.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes. These references, we should go and read through them and get the points from there specifically, add to what we know. But the verse itself here is very, very important, because if the goal is to satisfy the Lord, and that is Bhagavad Samprasidati, and the Lord is saying that he is very satisfied with his devotees when the devotee greets other people with tolerance, mercy, friendship, and equality. So that means personal application is what makes everything, brings about the transformation. So how much are we really applying? To the degree we are able to apply ourselves to this principle, these qualities, to that degree we will endear ourselves to the Lord. And there must be challenges. Challenges must come through devotees. And when they come, they are not the problem. How we respond to the challenges, that is the definition of our maturity. And it is that endears us, Lord, more and more and more and more. And he will be satisfied with us. Okay? And that's why even in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna was asking, Arjuna was asking Krishna, for one who has attained this that you are saying, how does he speak? How does he work? That means, how does he respond to challenges, to confrontations? How does he work? When there are challenges, how does he respond to them? So that brings out his innermost qualities, and it is those qualities that endear him to Krishna. And this is the same thing being said here. So that is it. The things can happen, but where is your consciousness? It's an opportunity for you to show that you understand the scripture. The first, according to what Salika was saying also, there should be strong conviction, philosophically, strong conviction that everything is coming from Krishna. You learn how to see Krishna in every situation and see every situation in Krishna. Human Pasyati Savatra. When you attain that level with strong analytical, intellectual conviction that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God, then you put into practice, then you realize, then you put all that together, expecting challenges. The more the challenges, the more opportunity for you to exhibit your innermost qualities. So when they come, you just remain. It's an opportunity for you to pass the test and get your promotion. So for a devotee who is advancing, who is conscious of the goal, he does not become disturbed, overweight by external circumstances to the extent that he will come down from Madhyama to Kanisa again. Instead, he maintains and he relishes it and he begs for more challenges to come, so that he will just practice more and go deeper and establish himself fully in it. So that is it. Bhagavan Samprasidati should be the measure, satisfaction of the Lord. That should be our focus. Everything else will fall in place. And thank you very much, Salih Prabhu, for your response. Thank you very much, Jyoti Saru, for your question. Thank you very much, Madhuban, for supporting Jyoti Saru in the question. And thank you very much for remaining silent, Yadina Prabhu. Thank you very much for silent, Krishna Prabhu. Thank you very much for remaining silent, Chitraketu Putra Prabhu. On this note, we bring the class to an end. We appreciate your participation, and we are looking forward to meeting again next Saturday. I think next Saturday and Sunday we'll conclude this chapter. Then it's great Kavikanupura Prabhu by then must have come out of those tight schedule to continue. But I enjoy your association. But please, those who are here, you should remember to also still call Rasavan Prabhu, Krishna Prabhu particularly, call Rasavan Prabhu why we are not seeing him in class again. We all went to the Sriani together, but I was in Sriani, I was able to take the classes. He was in Sriani, but he was not able to participate. And we are here also. Yesterday he didn't participate. Today he has missed 4 classes. So if the devotees can show love by asking what is going on, Rasapanji, then we explain. If he has something to address, then we see how to address it. We don't want to miss him because he's a very good student. And okay, thank you very much. It's Confounder Charles AC Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Bhakta Vrinda ki
Jai.
Chakrapatarubhyascha Kripasindhuvyascha Paritanam Pavatmebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. His Grace Bhakti Vedanta Shitaya Prema Prabhu ki Jai.
Jai.
Ki Jai and all the students. Thank you very much.
Hare.
Hare Krishna. Jai.